Hello, hello, and we're live. How's everybody doing? I know it's been a little while since I've actually done an actual live stream, but I figured got a little bit of downtime today. I'm sitting out here in San Antonio, and the weather's actually really nice. I mean, relatively speaking, I know people that are out here in Texas probably don't agree with me and say that it's pretty hot, but coming from Yuma, from Arizona, it's actually really nice out here. There's a little bit of humidity, but it's got to be, I don't know. If I had to guess, like in the 80s. Hey, Craig. Hey, Coral. How's it going? I'm just hanging out tonight. Figured I'd sitting here enjoying a cigar, so I figured I'd sit down. Hey, Kyle, I'm really liking that new logo you got. That's really nice. I saw you had put the polls out there asking about it. It looks like you already updated it. So, hey, Buds Files, how you guys doing? Yeah, no, I was just hanging out. Uh, Actually, my granddaughter right now is in the pool. And my grandson, where my son lives, the development that he lives in, it's kind of cool. They have a community center, and I didn't. I guess he didn't know, but ever so often they have like weekend activities for the kids of the community. So they're doing like a movie night, and they got this projector inside. Not a projector. Uh, it's like well, yeah, it is a projector. What am I talking about? With this inflatable screen, and they're watching a movie in there. So I decided to step out for a little bit. Hadn't had a cigar in a while, so I figured, I'll kill two birds with one stone. Uh, so figured I'd hang out here and see how's it going. Hey, Linda, how you doing? Uh, you know, we're probably going to be out here in San Antonio. I think we're heading back on Tuesday. So today I actually was able to get out and go to one of the local fish stores out here, which I thought was pretty cool. Apparently, that fish store has recently changed ownership. Uh, it's a couple of young kids. Well, I'm going to say kids, but they're not really. A couple of young men. That would probably be the correct uh, terminology because I think one of them, if I had to guess, he must be mid to late 20s, and the other gentleman must have been like in his 30s. And they decided to take over the store, and it was pretty interesting. I mean, I can see it's got a lot of potential. Um, I was talking to him because I was one of the owners' name is JC Juan Carlos, and I was telling him, I said, you guys really got to promote your business. You guys got to take advantage of the fact that you have social media at your disposal and use the hell out of it. As a fish store, there's so much potential for content that you could be doing. It's just limitless. It's kind of like what Craig does. Craig has got his fish room, and he all he does, even just doing the maintenance and stuff like that. It's just grounds for being able to watch. Two new live fish keepers were born yesterday. Both my mates had a. Oh, nice! Congratulations, Craig, to your friends. Are Oh, wait a minute. Are they grandkids or what? What's the deal? Are they just your friends or your mates' kids? Okay, yeah, each one. That's cool. That's really neat. Mm. But what I was getting at, it, I was trying to explain to him because he was a little bit hesitant about, what am I going to record? What do people want to watch? Friends, kids, nice. Well, congratulations to them, and you become Uncle Craig, Uncle Craig. And I said, look, you'd be surprised. And I was telling them from my just point of view, how many unboxing videos, stores. Hey Jeff, how's it going? Okay. Uh, you know, I was telling you, it's you'll be surprised how many people will just tune in to watch an unboxing of deliveries, and you being a fish store are constantly going to be having shipments come in. Now, for you as a business, that works as a twofold because one, it generates content for a YouTube channel that you can create relatively easy, and it also shows the people in your community what you guys are bringing in as inventory. Hey Adele, how's it going? Uh, so as a business, it'd be crazy for you not to take advantage of social media. They have an Instagram account, but the problem with the Instagram account, although you get a lot of subscribers, that's probably the account where I have the most subscribers, followers. I don't know what the hell you want to call them, because I'm over, I think, 2,500 members on there, or close to 28, I think. And but as a business, why not take advantage of YouTube? And if you get monetized, well, that's a little bit of extra revenue. It's not a lot, but of a fish store like the one I went to go see, you could be posting content on a daily basis, all the way from unboxings to doing a spotlight species right there at the store. Talking about how they, it's just, I can think of an infinite amount of topics that could come on freeloaders on Instagram. Yeah, I guess so. But I mean, it's just no way to monetize it unless I think it's over 10,000 subscribers that you've got to have in order to start monetizing, and it's not very good. And the reason I know that, it's not because I've been there, but for example, Aquarium Talk TV, Gordon, that was one of the biggest reasons he was looking at trying to start up his YouTube channel, because he went big and grew real quick on Instagram, but he saw that the return for all the work that he was doing not there. It was just almost non-existent. Who's this? No me acuerdo. Hola, saludos desde Buenos Aires. Muchos saludos. Gracias por estar aquí. Gracias por estar aquí hoy, el día de hoy. So, I was telling JC, I said, look, dude, you guys, even if you're just doing maintenance on the tanks, people watch. I mean, right now, I don't know why it's becoming real trendy to have just live feeds of an aquarium, and there's no conversation, no nothing. I said, you come in here in the morning, you can walk people through what your routine is as a video, or even as a live stream. You can show them what's going on with the store. People are always having questions when it comes to store ownership, because for most of us, even in the back of our heads, that's, it could be a far-fetched goal that we might have, but some of us go, okay, well, the possibilities of that happening are zero to none, or whatever the situation is, right? But it still doesn't. I'm still curious, even though I'm not going to open up a store. I'm still real curious to see the ins and outs of. I'm just curious by nature, though. That's just me, and so I would be really, really interested in seeing the operations of a store. Now, here in San Antonio, it's really cool, because what I'm finding out, and this is also going back to the last time I was here and I went to go look at that pawn store, they come to the realization where, unlike other cities where they have multiple stores where they just kind of go against each other, they're really pushing or trying to make an emphasis to create a network, which I think that is the smartest thing you can do, because at the end of the day, everybody benefits from it. Because it's impossible as a store to keep all the species of fish. I don't know if it's just of late, but it seems like right now, especially if there's multiple stores in your town, almost if you become like a specialty store, you specialize in certain things, you'd be better off. Whereas if you try to encompass the entire business, and what these guys have done, they've kind of talk to each other and say, all right, this is what I'm doing, and then they'll have it, like, for example, and I'm going to use these two guys because I've talked to the both of them. The Water Gem Garden. I forget what the name of the store is. It's the pawn store. Well, obviously, being a pawn store, they're gonna emphasize more on pawns and stuff like that. Even though they did have some. Hey, how's it going, American Panay crew? Hola, hola. That's what they're trying to. That's their main focus is doing some of the pawn stuff. Whereas the store that I went today, I guess used to be more of a conventional store where they had all kinds of fish. But the two new owners, are pretty smart because they're kind of looking at the trends. And one of the things that they notice is that the trend, at least here in San Antonio, is people are really starting to get into like shrimps and nano aquariums. Hey, Jake, and Katie, and so they're trying to switch that store over from being a very broad, typical kind of store into more of a specialty store. So they're trying to focus more in the nano species. They're trying to, they're trying to have more of the shrimp, a lot of the nano. He says right now the hardest thing for them to keep in stock are a lot of the rasboras, whether it's the chili rasbora, the mosquito rasboras, all the real nano fish. Hey, Steve. Um, so that's what sells to them the most, and they're the only ones here in San Antonio that are doing that, which I think it's smart, and I think the smartest thing that they're doing because it's right now, as far as I know. For example, it's the pond store that I went from the last time. This store where they're trying to focus more on the nano side, they have some African, they have some cichlids. As a store, you got to have a little bit, but their focus, the bulk of their focus is nano fish. But it's nano fish not only for freshwater, it's nano fish for saltwater too. So they're trying to encompass, they're trying to become like the nano fish store, whether you're doing saltwater or whether you're doing freshwater. That's what their hope is to be able to fill that niche or that void, and they're up and running. And the quicker they get around to doing that, the more they're going to get. People are going to become aware of that, and the more they're going to be able to become that store. So I thought that was really really neat. And then he was telling me that not too far away from them is a reef store, which does a lot of the saltwater, but they do more of the corals and stuff like that. So between the three, they tend to run customers between each other depending on what the customer is looking. They're not afraid to pick up the phone and call each other and say, "Hey, I got a customer here that's looking for so and so and so. Do you have it?" Which I think it's so fascinating, and that they're so willing to be open minded about it and not let their egos get the best of them, where they start kind of cutthroating each other. What I love about it is the fact that they're willing to work as a network. I think that it's super smart. One of the interesting things for as big as San Antonio is, they don't really have a lot of mom and pop shops that I could see. I mean, for example, if I look at like San Diego, San Diego's got to have like 20 stores uh, within the city. I think here they might have 10 because the bulk of them are Petco's and PetSmarts that are out here. And I don't even think they have 10 to be honest. And I think that the fish club out here is really pushing to try to make it where it's, and then they're all it's the way they're spread out here. I don't know how many of you guys are familiar with the way cities in Texas are built, which I find it totally interesting. But they look like, if you look at it on a map, it looks like a bullseye. They're basically built in a circle, and all the interstates, they have the main interstate that goes right through the middle of the city, and then they have loops, business loops that go all the way around, and then there's an outer loop and an inner loop. And so, because of those loops, you start getting these sections of the city, and it's kind of almost divided in the quadrants with an inner, a middle, and an outside loop. And you look at it, San Antonio's like that, Houston is like that. I don't know so much about Dallas. I think Austin is also kind of set up similar to that. Hey, Daniel, ¿cómo estás? Let me see. Let me make sure I haven't missed anybody that's been coming in. Said hi to Jake and Katie, American Panay. Make sure nobody's kind of slipped through. Linda, Kyle. Yeah, I think that's everybody. Which is really cool because a lot of these stores are not all kind of bulk in the same area. Oh, and then also you have Nelson with Creekwood Aquatics, but he's got a home shop, and if you look at the way they're laid out, he's kind of like in the southeast quadrant of the city. The one that I went to would I guess it would be considered more of the southwest side of town. The Water Garden Gem, they're kind of like the north east side of town, north, yeah, it's sort of northeast side of town. And I'm assuming that probably the Elegant Reef, I believe, is the other store. It's got to be somewhere like in the northwest. So as a customer, that is super great that they all try to talk to each other, because if you come into a store, and I think if I'm not mistaken, they're willing to send stuff between the stores to try to help each other out. Uh, which I think that's like a totally, hey Curtis, uh, I think that's like a totally interesting way of trying to do business, because I'm of the opinion the more the merrier. The I think if we all work together, there's always a lot more success. I mean, I've always been a true believer in community and helping each other and supporting each other out. But I mean genuine support, not just a lot of people will say they want to support other people, but it's really hard sometimes to go through what you're saying. Although I did have something very interesting happen to me at the store, which has never happened to me. I think because they're relatively new, and I think I might have been the first one to hit them up to do a store work. And again, this is how cool the community is out here. They came recommended from the last fish store that I went to, because I talked to them and I was asking them. I said, "Hey, what other fish stores do you guys have here?" They didn't even bat an eye, and they mentioned immediately the Lone Star aquariums and Elegant Reef as being some that I needed to check out. So immediately you start seeing that what they're saying about doing developing a network is really true. And so they're really practicing what they preach, which is I think is really cool. And so I just I like I told them, oh, what I was getting at. Sorry about that. I got sidetracked because my daughter was coming in here and she was a little bit upset. Um, it was the fact that they asked me. I said, hey, because I reached out to them on Instagram. I was trying to follow them, find out where I can get a hold of them, support community a little more. Well, you do plenty, Jeff. Um, and they said, yeah, that's cool. I appreciate that. And then there was that weird, awkward moment of pause, and he didn't know how to ask me. He goes, hey, can I ask you something? I said, yeah, sure, no problem. Hey, how much is this going to cost? I said, cost you? I said, it's not going to cost you anything. I said, on the contrary, you're doing me a favor because you're allowing me to create content with your store. So, no, I don't need anything. I don't want anything. I'm not asking anything of you other than permission to be able to check out your store and share it with the community. But that was kind of interesting because I've never had that happen to me. I don't know if somebody else has hit them in the past and they've tried to squeeze them out for some money, or it's just the very first time that somebody's approached them about being able to film the story. And I told him, I said, no. And if somebody, yep, see, estoy fumando Arturo Fuentes right now, one of my go-to. And so I was like, you should never have to pay a content creator to come in and do something like that. In my opinion, I said, because on the contrary, they're benefiting from the fact that you're allowing them to come in here and create content. Um, so it's just I was like, whoa, that was taking it back a little bit because if that's the case, that kind of sucks. If somebody has kind of squeezed them for a little bit of something, whether it's fish or I don't understand how somebody can have the audacity to go hit up the store and say, hey, I'm a content creator. You should give me a discount or you should give me free fish or free something. Uh, you know, I don't get that because if anything, by them allowing us to be there, we're actually getting something in return. Especially if you're already monetized. If you're already monetized, it's like a no-brainer, man. That's free content, and in return, you're going to get, depending on your subscriber count, you're going to get some money in return. So the actually the best thing that you can do as a content creator is while you're there, is support them. Pick up something that you could use for your fish room or your aquariums. That would be the right move, but not the other way. And expect something in return for them allowing you to be able to get video out of them. I don't agree with that. I think that's pretty shitty. Um, in my opinion, I just think that's not ethical, in my opinion. But people people do and act, I guess, however they want to act, and if they feel okay with it, well, that's on them. But in my personal opinion, that to me seems dirty, and I don't think it should. That why would you exploit a local fish store, especially because we all know that local fish stores, uh, their profit margins are just enough to get by. Do the last tour, uh, I did. The guy felt bad because he had anything to give me, and I was like, man, I got content. Yeah, exactly, Kyle. I totally 100% agree with that. Uh, you know, we're we're so fortunate that they allow us to do that, and and because we're the ones benefiting out of it. So, I've never, and trust me, I've been offered stuff. As a matter of fact, when I did the aquarium, the aquarium depot, what is it? The aquarium fish depot up in La Jolla, or between La Jolla and San Diego. They're like, dude, whatever you want, we'll give you. That's like, no, that's not. And even then, I was just starting out, but I was like, why, why am I, going to hit you up for something if you are allowing me to come into your facility and be able to do something that's going to benefit me in the long run? Because I mean, it might benefit the store, but let's be real, especially us. Maybe if we were content creators that had thousands of subscribers or hundreds of thousands of subscribers, it might make a difference where you drive people to the stores. But the reality is, if they get a customer out of my video, they're lucky. But the reality is, they're probably not. Uh, if anybody is getting on the upside, it's me. I'm the one's going to benefit from all of that. So, yeah, I just don't think that's a cool move as a content creator to try to hit them up for something in return that you're already getting a benefit out of. But that's just my opinion. But I don't know. I don't know. I don't know if most of you feel the same way, or am I alone in feeling that? Or I don't think so. I think most of us that are pretty decent human beings would understand that that's not cool. That would be like taking advantage of a situation, in my opinion. But anyways, I thought that was kind of cool. I said again, what I really like is the fact that they're really sticking to the fact that they're trying to become a network of stores where they'll reach out to each other. They're willing to work with each other. They're willing to support each other. I really hope that JC does heed the advice and he starts doing some content out of the fish store. I mean, I would love. I mean, when Aquarium Co-op was doing all those unboxing videos, I remember watching the videos, and I would look at the comments, and I would see a lot of the same people commenting on there. And you look at the views; they do really well. I know for me, it's just kind of like an opportunity to see fish that I normally wouldn't be able to see under any other circumstances. Especially for me, I think I'm more of a unique situation because there's no local fish stores around me. So that in itself allows me to see what new fish are coming into the market. You can kind of get a feel for the trends too. I need to talk less and smoke more. Go out again on me. Sorry about that. And so I find it fascinating. You know as a if that were my local store, for me that would be great because now it kind of saves me a trip to the store when I'm busy. I can see what's come in, and if there's something that I've been really wanting, then I know that that's what I'm going to go get. So, not that more than likely you'll come out with more than just that. but you have a good idea. Oop. What a beautiful young lady! Look, say hello to the people. Say hi. What's your name? So, Sophia. What are you wearing? What's that in your dress? No, 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 no. What are those things in there? What are those? Lights? Your skirt lights up? Wow, you look really pretty in that. Which princess are you? Cinderella? Oh, that's so cool. Look there with Nana because the smoke's gonna get on you. That's my granddaughter. Uh, she and her brother, her younger brother, I mean her older brother is the one that's with me on that video of that store tour. Hey Ross, thanks for coming in. Curtis, thanks for coming in. Let's see. Who else? Benjamin, thanks for dropping in. Who else? Am I missing anybody? Daniel, thank you for coming in. Yeah, that was Cinderella. She's got a bunch of um, these little outfits, and it's funny because she'll do like little fashion shows. She'll she'll go she'll go dig in her closet, and then 1 minute she'll be one princess, the next minute she'll go back with a different princess outfit. It's really hard to keep up with her sometimes. Sometimes she'll be like three different princesses in a day. But they're at the age right now where it's really fun to hang out with them. Um, Too bad they don't stay that small for too long. They grow way, way too quick. Like Nate and her brother and my other two grandsons, they're already 9 and 8. Uh, 3 more years. What is it? No, 5 more years. Maybe 4 more years. Probably they're going to get that preteen age, and they might not want to hang out with us anymore. So we'll take it when we can get it. But yeah, yeah, we're going to be here. This is the last weekend we'll spend with them. We'll go drop them off at their mom's house. I think on Monday morning, and then we head back Tuesday back to Arizona, which is one of the reasons why I wanted to do this today. Is kind of let you guys know that I'm going to start picking up on doing my live streams, and I'm seeing some of the people that are in here, which is interesting. I prior to me taking that break, yeah, around 13 is when they started giving you that side hug, and then there's not like they don't want to be close to you because you're no longer. Well, at least that's what the parents. I don't know. I don't know how it's going to be for us, the grandparents. But here comes Nate. What's up, buddy? Yeah, he's the one that went to the fish store with me. You want to come and say hi, Nate? You want to come and say hi to my friends over here on this side? Let me put the cigar down. You don't want to say hi? Oh, you're gonna be shy now, huh? You weren't shy during the video. Anyways, what I was getting at is that I think, well, at the beginning of August, I'm going to start picking up on the live streams again. And there's a list that I have of people that I had invited prior to me going on break. And I think I'm going to start with that list. There's about 10 different names on there. Some of them had given me a verbal confirmation, but we hadn't. Oh, thank you, June. Uh, we hadn't really come up with a date or time, so I'm going to start sending out some time slots for that. Among those is obviously Curtis. We still have to set up a date for that. Uh, uh, Jake and Katie, I'd like to have you guys on too. We just need to tie down a date. MC Aquatics is another one that's on that list. There's a new kid that I got to meet when we went to the store in Las Vegas. His name's Caleb. I think it's kicking in the bass. He's a home breeder, and I want to have him on. I reached out to Jeremy from Aquarium Domain, and he said he'd be willing to come on. We just need to be able to come up with a date and time. I want to bring back Stefan. I felt like we didn't even scratch the surface of that interview. I like to bring him on, like I brought Alex back on, and hopefully we can come up with a date and time where he can come on again. Who else am I missing? Oh, Mike B and Maritza from our aquatic universe. I like to have them on. That one might be cool because my wife has said that she'd be willing to do a live stream and with me. And I think she said it'd be cool if we could do it with another couple. So I might do something with that where in order to be able to have my wife, I think it's going to be for the couples because there's a lot of couple live streamers out there like Mike and and Maritza, Jake and Katie. Now it's Gabriel and his wife. Uh, and then you start going down the list. I'm trying to think right now off of the list who. Oh, you got Stephen P and Jenna that do content together. Yeah, I don't know if Gina's still doing it with her husband. So there's quite a bit of people out there. Even if the spouse is not necessarily 100% committed to the fish keeping. I know Aquafunk has done a few with his wife, and so something like that. I think because she was watching the last one that Gabriel and his wife were doing, and so she got to meet Gabriel Naratelli. She was like, "Yeah, that'd be cool. I'd be interested in doing something like that." So that might be down something that comes down the pipe later on, is where we do something like that, and any of the other people that are here, if they want to do something like that, or they're interested in doing something like that, we can work something out. That would be really really cool to be able to do something like that. Um, I'm really excited because it's something another step that my wife wants to get involved with what I'm doing, which I think is pretty cool. And so that'll be nice. She usually accompanies me everywhere, even when I go do the live the store tours. For example, this last time, well, today I got to take my grandson, so she stayed back with my granddaughter that you just saw right now. And but usually she's the one that's always with me, and she'll help me take footage. A lot of the times, a lot of the B-roll you'll see in some of these videos, especially like on Instagram, it's all content that she records for me, and she just sends me the videos. I tell her whatever you find interesting, feel free to record that, and that's what she's been doing. She does a lot of stuff for me behind the camera. So when she told me she had a little bit of an interest of doing something in front of the camera, I thought, oh, cool. Plus, she's a lot easier to look at than me. So hopefully that'll go over pretty well. And she's actually funnier than I am. So that's a plus. Mm. But let me see. I know I had let me see. Let me make sure that I don't have. Oh, I guess that's not in there anymore. I had a list. Let me see. Let me see if I can still put up my list. Okay, here it is. So the people that were still kind of in there, like I said, I had Skull and then MS Aquatics, Aquascaping, sorry, which is Sam. He's another one. Creekwood Aquatics, Nelson. Nelson, I'm going to see this Sunday. I'm going to go film his fish room. But I don't know if this Sunday I might just do what we call it a live uh, fish room tour slash interview. I'm still debating that because I don't know how much time I'm going to have, and we usually tend to get pretty long on it. The other one's MC Aquatics, Aquarium Domain. Oh, something fishy, Zach. He's another guy that I want to have on, and he's kind of agreed to it, but we just need to set up some dates. Uh, Katie and Jake Hoggins, Phil's Design. I love to have you guys on, and I think I had already sent uh, an invitation. They agreed to it. I just need to be able to find a time and date. I want to talk to Scotty Aquatics, especially with uh, the Keystone Clash coming up. I think it'll be a great opportunity. I have a lot of questions about that, so I think that would be a great one. And then Mike from New Local Austin. Mike has been one that's I haven't been able to pin down. Even when I went to Austin, I was hoping to be able to meet up with him, but he just didn't. It didn't work out. Well, Jeff, if Jill ever decides to be on a stream with you, let's do something together. Your wife and my wife. I think that would be fun. Uh, hey, Gabriel, I was just talking bad about you right now. about how Araceli is making your live streams a lot more interesting. That's the only reason people are really starting to tune in is because Araceli's on your live stream. But don't worry, because I'm going to take the same page out of your book and do that. But yeah, I think that's going to be something that I think is going to be interesting, especially because my wife doesn't really know a lot about fish, so there might be some interesting questions that she might have. Uh, and then you guys get to pick her brain as to what it's like to be married to me, I guess, which is not always a picnic. Uh, but yeah, that's kind of what I'm hoping to be able to do. Uh, I know there's a couple other bigger channels that I like to have on, and I know that if I reach out to them, they'll agree to do it. As a matter of fact, I know they will because they've already kind of said it. But here's the thing: uh, the whole reason I started doing this was to be able to bring like channels that I discover and are coming up and that I find interesting and trying to pay forward that great opportunity that I was given when I was starting out and being able to given a platform to kind of present myself and become part of the community. So especially now that Ricostad's not doing as much as he used to, um, because he was a big part of this. Aquafunk is another one. I've always said that. I know Jesse from the Aquatic Morning Show. She was another person that when I didn't even have 300 subscribers, and they were willing to bring me on and you know allow me to showcase myself and give me an opportunity to become part of the community. So that's always been my goal. But I think once in a while, if I bring in one of the bigger content creators, oh, the other one that I mentioned on there was Fishy Bits, but that's a no brainer. He's a friend of mine, just like Aquafunk's a friend of mine, and you know I've been very fortunate that in the short time that I've been doing this, I've made a lot of friends. All you guys that are here, every single one of you guys, I consider a friend. Um, you know, we've had interactions, we've shared screen time together, we've sent messages to each other. Um, it's gotten a little bit more than just talking to somebody in the live streams, and I really like that. I think it's a lot of fun and potentially dangerous if you get on Tro in the stream trying to get your wife to us. That sounds like a live stream between Omaida and Funk, or Jake and Katie. Mm. You see, and it's I don't know. Again, I think that the more of us that we work together, the better off we all benefit from each other. There isn't one single person that that we interact with that we don't get something out of it. And a lot of the times, and I'm not even talking about like material stuff. I know every single time that I get to come up and share the screen with any of you guys, it's always like that sense of I don't know, content or happiness, if you want to say it. It's really really cool. I mean, I always feel like I have a buzz after every time I get done doing one of these live streams, especially when I have a guest on or we have a panel on, and I love to have a good time. And a lot of the best times that I have is being on those live streams. Hey, Mike is another guy that I need to get up here, but he's a big content creator too. So I got to spread those guys out. One thing, and this is I'm going to be honest with you, the hesitation, because I know a lot of these guys would say yes in a heartbeat. Um, but the last thing I want is for them to think that I'm trying to use them for clout. That's the reality of it. Because I've seen where that kind of happens, and they kind of sometimes feel like you're being taken advantage of. I don't want that. I don't want to have somebody feel that that's the case. I if I bring somebody on, it's because I'm genuinely interested in having them on and having a conversation with them, and I'm not looking to get anything out of it other than being able to spend some time with those persons and be able to talk and have a conversation. So, that's the only thing that I'm looking out of it. And the problem is a lot of these bigger channels sometimes hesitate a little bit about doing stuff like that because they've been put in situations sometimes where they get blindsided. And I've seen it happen a couple of times, and I think it's bullshit. But that's just because they're trying to generate views, and that's never really been my thing. My thing is more getting to know the people. That's why I love having on the smaller channels on, is because they know I'm not trying to take advantage of them. I would definitely clout chase. Yeah, I know, Mike, and I know you're kidding too, but yeah, and I know Mike wouldn't be a problem. I mean, Mike has had me on his live streams, and we've had conversations, even backstage and stuff like that. But you start getting into the bigger content creators, the big names that we all recognize, and I know because I've had other conversations. As a matter of fact, I had one of them tell me on a backstage, "Hey, any day you want me to come on, I'll come on." Uh, but I wanted to be under the right circumstance, and I don't want it to seem like the only reason they're coming on is because I'm trying to get something out of it. And that would never be the case for me. But I think the more that I do this and they really get a feel for what I'm doing, they can see that that's not the case. So when that invitation comes their way, there's no hesitation. They know that it's not with the expectation of me trying to get something out of them. It's a genuine interest in them, and it's I wanted to be a genuine conversation. Um, just like everything that I've done up until this point, because I find that people are all fascinating. Everybody has a story to tell. I don't know how many times people have told me, "Oh, but I don't have anything interesting to say." Well, that's because by I guess by default we think that we're not interesting in ourselves, but we all have very interesting stories because we all live very different lives. And hey, Gabriel, Glassbox, thanks for being here. So there's always everybody has a story, and you might not think it's interesting, but it's interesting to all of us. There isn't. I can't think of a single person that has not had a very interesting conversation that I've had with. I've learned so much from everybody that has been on, and it's not necessarily even fish keeping stuff. It's just general life, and just having a conversation, getting to know them, um, and I think at the same time, you guys get to know them too, because a lot of the times we talk about stuff that uh, we don't necessarily see when they're putting out content. Because when we do content, Craig, you're another one, and I know I sent you a message. I know you don't do other people's live streams, but I love it if you could come on and one of mine to be a guest, and we could work around the schedule where you're not having to stay up late at night. We could work around whatever schedule it is you have, which is what I've loved about my schedule, is not having a fixed time slot, because it's given me that opportunity to also network with people outside of the United States and different time zones. And I know for some of you it might become very difficult to either be up that early or stay up that late. But one of the things that I really appreciate from every single one of you guys is that you guys watch the replays. And I know you guys watch the replays because you guys are really good about dropping little comments when I know the video's been playing for more than an hour in. And you guys are all really good about saying, "Oh yeah, that incident or that situation is something similar that happened to me." That's how I know you guys are genuinely watching the replays, not just opening it up and watch it for a little bit or whatever. Uh, I look at my algorithm and I can see the duration of the time, and a lot of you guys, I'm surprised because my live streams are usually not that short. I don't. I think the shortest one I ever did, and I always, and to this day, I regret it. But sometimes I just put too much on my plate with Stefan with lush and salty aquatics. I think his was just under an hour, not even an hour, for like 50 minutes. And I feel so bad about that because we were having such a good conversation, and I had to ruin it by cutting it short. I don't regret it because it was my grandkids, but I regretted that I should have rescheduled it and done it in a time where it was more appropriate to be able to sit down and dedicate that time. I felt like I was being rude by cutting it short. Most of my the reason I don't do like a fixed amount of time is because sometimes conversation dictates how long you want to go. Some people have a lot to say, some people don't. So far, I haven't met anybody that doesn't have anything to say. It's you'll be surprised how many times I've been on a live stream with guests, and I'll tell them we've been on for an hour and a half, and they go, "What? It's been an hour and a half?" And it used to surprise me a lot before when I was first doing it. I was really concerned. I was like, "How the hell am I going to be able to be on a live stream for more than 30 minutes?" Um, but you guys make it happen. You guys make it happen because when I have a conversation with you guys open up and we'll talk about anything. I'm trying to. Who was it that? I think even with Gabriel, when he was on, I don't even know if we really talked about fish. I know we talked about cars. I know we talked about his his work with his community and his church. We talked a little bit about his past, but we really didn't talk much about fish. And I remember the first time Alex came on Fathom Aquatics, we spend most of the time him telling me about other people's channels than ever talking about what he was doing with his own project, which is why I brought him on again. Because he told me, he goes, "Man, I feel so bad that you brought me on and we didn't even talk about me." I said, "Don't worry about it." So that's why he came back on the second time and we were able to get to know a little bit more about him. But he was so adamant about trying to help other channels that he found interesting and couldn't understand why they weren't grabbing any traction. So, but and it doesn't mean that I can't. I would love to have double back with a lot of you guys because for a lot of you guys, here's the thing though, and this is true. Like Ross, I know with Ross, I think that was kind of like one of the very first times that he had actually been on a live stream, and it's always very awkward the very first time you get on a live stream because I remember not too long ago when I was, "Hey, Southwest Florida, how you doing? Hey, Berto. Hey, George, RB3, thanks for being here." It was one of those things where, "Hey, Araceli, Jay, thanks for coming in." Uh, it was one of those things where I didn't know what to say or how to feel, and for a lot of the people that I brought on, it was the very first time either doing a live stream or being on somebody on some well, yeah, just being on somebody's live stream. They might have done a couple on their own, but they hadn't really been like a guest. And I know it takes a little while to get the groove of that. So, you know, I'm pretty sure that some of the people that have already been on, I'd like to double back with them and have them on again. And I'm sure it'll be a totally different conversation because one, uh, you've already gotten to know me, so there isn't that like, oh, I wonder what I can say or can't say or stuff like that. That sort of awkwardness is out of it's already been over with. And so far the ones that I've doubled back on have been really good. Hey, Zach, there he is. I was just talking about you. And Ron, thanks for joining in. Hey, congratulations on your green water, Ron. I know you can do it. And so, Gabriel's been on with me a couple of times. I know he's been on like a just regular pop-up live streams and stuff like that. But man, some of the best time I've ever had is when I do like an open panel. Even though sometimes we get I got like 3 times in one live stream. And unfortunately, that one I couldn't keep up, but that one was a blast. I mean, I know people were coming in and out, and we were doing a constant, revolving door of people coming on. I think at the whole time we had like almost 9 or 10 people on at once. So I had a ball. Oh, yeah. I mean, there hasn't been a single person that I haven't had a great interaction with. It's always been fun. Hey, Benjamin, loves to sacrifice virgin. This guy. Yeah, so it's just I I've been I can't see me not doing this anymore. It was really it was really being hard for me. And even though I said I wasn't going to do anything during that time, which was kind of interesting because even though I wasn't doing the live streams, the opportunities to do content for my channel uh, kind of increased out of the blues. There was just opportunities that presented themselves. Just perfect cases. The perfect case of that is today. Coming up here for this weekend, I was able to go to a store that I know it's not something that I would normally come to, but I'm already here, and I've been very, very fortunate that when I've reached out to a lot of these stores, um, none of them has said no, and all of them, well, yeah, I think all of them don't even know who the hell I am. So it's not like they're saying, "Oh yeah, you're coming on. That's great." They've all been very welcoming of allowing me to film the stores, and I'm greatly appreciative of that. So that's I've been able to do some of that stuff. Um, you know, I've done a couple of things in the fish room. I know my fish room is a mess. When I get back, that's the first thing I need to do is work on that. The other thing was, when you're babysitting the kid, because my wife and I were alternating schedules to be able to have the kids with us for that month and a half. Whenever I would work in the morning, she would take the later shifts so that when I got off of work, she could go to work, and vice versa. Because my schedule is the one that rotates, as you guys well know. I will work a morning, and then I work a midday, and then I work a graveyard. And so whenever, depending on which schedule I was working, is when she would, either go to work or or, or alternate with me. So doing that, you got to watch the kids. It's not like you can leave the kids in the house and then me be in the garage for 2 to 3 hours doing maintenance and stuff like that. Plus, it's hot, and I really didn't want to do it. I dread doing it in the summer, anyways. So having an excuse not to go in there uh, really wasn't a hard choice not to necessarily. Then I did some water changes. I would do them like late at night after we put the kids down to bed and everything. Especially when I was working like the mids, because I would get home at 10, put the kids down to bed, uh, wait about an hour, make sure all the kids were asleep. Then I'd go sneak out into the garage, do a few water changes real quick. I wouldn't be able to do the whole thing, but I'd do 3 or 4 aquariums, knock them out, and then go to bed, and then do the same thing the next day. But that's all I was doing was just water changes. I wasn't doing any other sort of maintenance. Hey, John, Surf City Sticklets. I know it's been a while. I've seen you around. Yeah, everything's great. Uh, like I said, I'm just kind of glad that I think I'm going to be going back to my normal schedule. It's not normal, but not normal because I don't have a like I said time. It's all my live streams are based on availability of the guests, and I really work to accommodate their schedules. So you'll start seeing again. Some of them will be in the morning, some might be in the middle of the day, some of them might be late night, depending on where they're at. So let's see, it's just me, or has gun your gun bushy bunch. Oh no, it's getting white. It's going white. Matter of fact, all this side in here is almost all white. Still have a little bit of salt and pepper going on, but it's going white. The only part that still hasn't gone really white is the side of my head. I don't have hair on the top, and that shit's all gone. Um, but I can start seeing the sideburns creeping gray. So I'm gonna go gray. If I'm not white in the next 5 years, I'll be surprised. Let me put it to you like I don't even think it's gonna be 5 years. I think in the next 3 years, it'll all be up. As a matter of fact, it's funny that Gabriel mentions that because I was looking at uh, a picture that I took last year. It was, how Facebook will give you the memory pictures of like a year ago. Holy smoke! I didn't realize how much white has come in since then. I don't care. I'm not gonna dye it. It's funny because in my dad's side of the family, I guess they're all pretty vain, and they all dye their hair, which never looks good. Dyeing your hair as a man, or or playing the part of doing a comb over, that's not going to happen. I'm not embarrassed that I don't have any hair. I'll just keep it short. Just keep it short. That's all I can do. It is what it is. And I got other things that are more important to worry about than whether I have a full head of hair or not. And whether it's white or black, it doesn't matter to me. I don't care uh, if I look old or I don't look old. I feel good. That's all that matters. I have my health. Um, so that's all we can do. Could you let me grow out and do a comb over? Dude, there's not enough money in this world to like, a lot. Oh, I saw the the worst comb over. The reason it was even so bad is because this guy not only dyed his hair. Um, okay, let me paint a picture. He basically did the thing where he didn't have. I mean, I have a little fuzz. His was like slick, bald, like me bald, uh, no hair on top, right? And he had a little bit of hair on the sides, and he let the where the back part of his donut that you have up here, he was letting that shit up. And it wasn't a comb. Well, I guess it is a comb over. He was combing it forward, and he was dyeing his skin with the dye so that it would be black. Oh my god! I don't know who this guy thinks he's fooling. I don't know who he is. I ran into him at of all places at Walmart at my local store, and I was like, "Bro, I really felt like going up to him. What the hell are you doing?" He looked so ridiculous. He would have been better off just cut it short, embrace it. You know, it's not the end of the world if you don't have hair. It's as a matter of fact, I don't even have to worry about buying shampoo anymore. It's just I don't know. I don't get it. So it looks so bad because it didn't even he wasn't fooling anybody other than himself. So the skullet, that's what he was doing. That's what he was doing, but he was combing it forward, and I was like, oh my god. And the worst part is that it was thin hair. It wasn't even like full thick hair back here where his comb over was like really full hair. It was like super. It was like the crypt keeper. That real thin fine hair. I was like, dude, give it up. Just go into it. Cut it off. You're gonna look much better because it was just. I didn't want to take a picture because that would have been so rude, but it's one of those pictures that would probably gone up of the people of Walmart. It was just like, oh my god, really? I don't know. I never understood that. Why would you want it? Honestly, does the comb over fool anybody? I haven't. I don't even think of two. I don't want to say this, but toupees, the rug, those are so bad, and there's one that I've seen that it doesn't even look like real hair. It looks like they took some knitting yarn and they kind of put. Oh my god, it is so bad. I don't know who they think they're gonna pull this off, but just embrace it, man. Bald is beautiful. Go with it. Uh, you're gonna look better if you cut it off, and if you try. There's nobody, absolutely nobody that you're fooling with this. Uh, just don't do it. Don't do it. uh, Transplants. I don't know. I don't. If you like the look of a Ken doll, not Ken doll, but like a doll, where they have the little plugs. I still haven't seen one that looks good. You can all tell nobody has a perfect hairline. Uh, I spot them a mile away. And, they. I haven't met. There's a guy that I work with who's got one. Here's the worst part, though. We grew up together. I knew when he started going bald, and he was worse than I was. 'Cause at least I have a little fuzz on the top. He didn't have anything. I mean, it was gone, shiny, shiny, gone. And over one summer, I would run across him because I would go to the office where he used to work at. Well, there was one summer where I got stuck doing some other detail, came back, and all of a sudden, like a full head of hair. But it looked like you look at the dolls where they do the dots of hair that they encrust in the top of the plastic. That's what it looked like. Dude, I'd rather look bald than to look like that, than look like a doll head. Oh man, that's shame. That's shameful. If you really feel bad about not having hair, wear a cap. Uh, you know, wear a cap and just but I mean I just don't get it. I personally I never understood it. Maybe it's because even when I was younger I'd still shave my head. Maybe it's because of my military background. You go to boot camp, they buzz your head. So I'm used to not having hair. As a matter of fact, growing up, I always ever since basic training, I think I've always kept a crew cut, high and tight. Always, 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 always. You're not going to see a picture of me ever with you know than a fade. I've always had it. Now I don't do fades because there's nothing to fade into. You fade out the side, the top's gone. What are you fading into? So I just do my own. I take the clippers and just clip my hair. The only thing that sucks about it, I do it myself, and sometimes I won't catch it until like a couple of days in there, and I have a patch. And what sucks is my wife won't tell me until I catch it. It's like, why come you didn't tell me that, you? That's like, suck. But anyways, I've totally got off the subject. I was talking about coming back and doing the video. So yeah, I've got the list of people that I want to bring on. I know already Jake said that they're ready to go. Jake and Katie, Curtis. We need to pin down the date. Um, and everybody else. I already have the dates. I have a list of the dates. I'm going to email you guys. The ones that I don't have an email to, I'll send you the skull shaver. You know what? I want to do it, but my wife doesn't want me to go like bald, bald, bald. Like my son has one of those. I love the shaver that he has because it's like kind of like what you use for your face, but it's designed to do your head. I want to get that so bad, but she's like, no, I don't want you to shave it all off. It's like, all right. So I just keep it short. I just go regular clippers, with no comb on it, whatever the clippers are, and I'll do this. Sometimes I get lazy and I'll let it grow out for a little bit, but it just when it starts looking real bad, I just kind of go in there and take it all off. She doesn't want me to shave though. I've been wanting to get rid of all this, but she's like, no. Uh, so it doesn't bother me too much. In the summer, it gets a little itchy, but I work in most of the time. I'm working in air conditioning, so it's not that bad. I think if I was still doing the outdoor job where I had to get out and be out in the field, I might keep it real, real short just because it is hot. I use a lighter on my ears. Don't you burn your earlobes? I don't know if I could do that. I pluck them. I got tweezers. Pull them out. But it sucks that I got more hair growing out of my ears than the top of my head and out of my nostrils. Oh, I don't get that. All of a sudden, I start losing the hair up here in my nostril hairs and my eyebrows. I got to trim them suckers like every 3 days because if I go a little bit longer than that, I'll wake up and I'll have this like hair that's like coming all the way over here. It's I guess nature being cruel to us and having fun at our expense because the places you don't want the hair is where it grows. But that's old people problem. But I get to be an old person, so I'm not complaining. Not everybody gets that luxury. So, but yeah, now I'm just babbling. I'm not really saying anything of interest. You look 15 younger. Yeah, that's why my wife doesn't want me to shave. Even when I was like in my 30s, I think in my late 20s, 30s, I've always had a mustache at the bare minimum. When I was in the service, that's all I could keep was a mustache. But I always had some sort of facial hair. I forgot. I think I was having a job interview, and I was trying to line up I was trimming my mustache, and I couldn't have I couldn't have uh, a beard, so I had taken off my goatee. But I've always kept it, you know, between kind of like what I have it now, but it was just a goatee. So I was trimming it down, and obviously my mustache I keep it a little bit longer when I have it longer here. So I was trying to trim it, and I was trying to line it up, and I ended up going too far. Maybe it wasn't noticeable, but I could tell that I had cut it in too much, and I got pissed. So I shaved it off. I came out of the bathroom. My wife gave me a look like, uh uh. She goes, "You look like a little kid. You gotta go. You better let that grow out." So ever since then, that's the only time I think where she's ever seen me without a mustache. She was pissed because I don't know. My mom has really good genetics. My mom is like almost she's like 78, and you look at her and she doesn't have wrinkles. My dad on the other side, he went gray at 20 something, which is why this is all coming in. And his hair thinned out, probably in his 40s. And but he dyes his hair. His hair was completely. I think by the time he was 30, uh, he had nothing but gray hair. Because as far as I can remember, ever since I was in high school, my dad would dye his hair, and all my uncles on his side of the family, they've all dyed their hair, and they give me shit when they see me because I'm the only one in the family that does. I don't care. I don't want to dye it. Uh, and so they always like, dude, why you want to look like an old guy? I said, I don't have a problem with it. I'm happy the way I'm happy to be able to be this old. So I don't shy away from it. I don't feel old. Yeah, you got your regular aches and pains and stuff like that. But I think for being, over 50, I still feel relatively young. I say 50 and I don't feel 50. That's the weird part about it. Uh, I forget. I'm talking to some of you guys. Like I was talking to Kyle the other day, and I noticed that he was kind of like stirring me and this and that. And I forget that I'm like 30 years older than him. And when in my mind, I'm thinking, oh, we're close. And I feel a lot younger than I look. Let me put it to you like that. Uh, but I guess it is what it is. I'm not one to shy away from how old I am or any of that stuff. I'm actually happy that I get to be this old, and hopefully I get to be a little bit older than what I am now. But yeah, no, it's just there's other stuff that's more important that I would worry about and stuff like that. The only thing that I have been dealing with lately, and it's uh, kind of, I guess it's sort of age, I guess, is my hips sometimes will hurt. I'll take a weird step and it's like, oh, that didn't feel good. But other than that, I feel pretty good. I mean, hopefully I can be able to pull it off. Yeah, I feel you. I turned 47. Oh, congratulations, my friend. Don't sweat the. I don't worry about it. I don't even. I. It just. There was a time there where I really didn't know. People would ask me, "How old are you?" I just quit counting. I didn't. I didn't. I didn't really pay too much attention to it. It was. It was like a period of 2 or 3 years. I think like in my mid 40s where I was like, I really had to stop and think about how old I was. I just never really thought about it. Yeah, there is. I'll agree with you there, June. Yeah, but other than that, I just want to let you guys know that starting August, I'll be going back to doing some of the live streams. I'm pretty excited about it. It was a cool little break to take from doing some of the live streams. Allowed me to have uh, a little bit of time with my family. Got to enjoy my grandkids because I know these summers like this with the grandkids. I'm lucky if I get another 5 more like that because they're going to start hitting that age where all of a sudden, they become preteens. They don't want to go outside. They want to play video games all day. They start, it's just you lose that cool factor. I know because I did it to my parents. So, and my grandparents, I was, it's funny because I remember being a kid and my grandparents always seemed old to me. I wonder if my grandkids look at me like that. Hopefully they don't, because I don't feel that way. But I remember my grandparents, ever since I can remember them, always seemed like old. And hopefully that's not the case. But then again, times were different. Uh, they never really did anything other than sit around and read the newspaper, drink coffee, and that's it. I can't remember what my grandfather used to like to do. My grandmother was always in the kitchen. I can't think of them traveling together. I can't I can't think of them. Yeah, yeah, it was different times, I guess. Whereas now we try to take the kids with us everywhere we go and do a lot of stuff. And it says, "Don't lie to yourself, brother. That's exactly how you see you. They see you." Yeah, I'm pretty sure they do. I'm pretty sure they do. But I know we do a lot more with them than what my grandparents ever did with us. So at least I feel good about that. Uh, but yeah, no, I'm gonna go ahead and jump off. I'll tell my hubby he's handsome. That slide. Ah, June. I'm sure you look at him uh, with loving eyes. Uh, you know, but I just want to say thank you guys for hanging out with me for a little bit, and I look forward to seeing more of you guys. I look forward to talking to more of you guys on the live stream, and I'll be around as long as I can be around. I'll be around. You guys take care, and I'll probably do some more stuff over the weekend while I'm here. Like I said, Sunday I'll be going to Creekwood Creekwood Aquatics and go do a tour of this fish room. And then tomorrow, I don't know. Tomorrow's kind of up in the air. We might do some family stuff, and I don't know. Maybe I'll put something on TikTok. TikTok is usually where I'll just post pictures and stuff like that. It's just a lot easier to do. But other than that, thank you guys. I'll see you guys pretty soon, and you guys take care.